the last lesson, we discussed the embryological development of various animal groups. This lesson will focus specifically on human development. Gestation is the period of time a baby spends inside the mother's body, from fertilization to birth. Human gestation lasts about 40 weeks on average and is divided up into 3 trimesters. Clinically, the gestational age of a baby is measured from the first day of the mother's last menstrual cycle. That means that during weeks 1 and 2, the mother is not actually pregnant, but her body is preparing for pregnancy. During week 1, a woman is menstruating. Her pituitary gland is producing follicle-stimulating hormone, FSH, to ripen a new egg within the ovary. At the end of week 2, ovulation occurs when an egg is released from the ovary. Estrogens produced by the ovary have thickened the uterine lining. Development of a new baby begins in the mother's oviduct, right after the egg has been fertilized by the father's sperm. The fertilized egg is called a zygote. During the 3rd week, the zygote moves down the oviduct towards the uterus. As it travels, a rapid series of mitotic cell divisions called cleavage is occurring. It takes about 5 days for the embryo to reach the uterus. At this point, it is a ball of cells called a morula. The morula hollows out and becomes a blastula, also called a blastocyst. During the 4th week, the blastocyst implants into the thickened uterine wall. This occurs about 10 days after fertilization. After implantation, the budding placenta begins to produce human chorionic gonadotropin, or HCG, which is a hormone that helps to maintain the pregnancy. Pregnancy tests detect HCG in the urine to determine if pregnancy has occurred. Week 5 is the start of the embryonic period. During this time, all the baby's major organ systems are developing. The central nervous system, heart, and gastrointestinal tract are all starting to form. The placenta and umbilical cord will begin forging a connection between mother and baby. Because this is such a critical period of development, the baby is at the highest risk of damage from harmful substances like drugs and alcohol during the first trimester. During weeks 6 and 7, the baby's arm and leg buds begin to appear, and the eyes and ears start to form. The skeleton begins to develop, and the circulatory system starts pumping blood through newly formed vessels. The baby's brain continues to grow and develop in week 8. The hands and feet are starting to look like little paddles. By week 9, all the essential organs in the baby's body have begun their development. Nipples and hair follicles appear. During the 10th week, the baby's facial features have become more distinct. The kidneys have begun functioning. This week ends the embryonic stage, and the baby will now be referred to as a fetus. The mother may now begin to see her abdomen grow slightly. During the 3rd month, weeks 11 through 14, nails appear on the fingers and toes, and the genitals begin developing, although it is still not possible to determine which gender the baby will be. The first trimester has ended at week 13, and the mother enters her 2nd trimester of pregnancy. In the 4th month, between weeks 15 and 18, the ears have formed well enough for the baby to hear. Hair is beginning to appear on the baby's scalp and head, including eyebrows and eyelashes. The fetus is now moving vigorously enough that the mother can feel its movements. Its fingers can grasp, and the fetus can even suck its thumb. In the 5th month, between weeks 19 and 22, the oil glands in the baby's skin secrete a waxy coating called vernix. The vernix helps to protect the fetal skin from the amniotic fluid. Fine hair called lanugo covers the skin to help hold the vernix in place and keep the baby warm. Underneath the skin, the baby is depositing a layer of fat called brown fat, which also helps to keep it warm and will serve as a nutrition source after birth until the mother's milk comes in. By week 20, the placenta is fully formed, but will continue to grow with the fetus. The fetus weighs about 1 pound at this point and will gain roughly 1 pound per month or more for the duration of the pregnancy. In the 6th month, From week 23 to week 26, the lungs are maturing, though they are still not capable of functioning outside the womb. Footprints and fingerprints are beginning to appear, and the body proportions are now similar to a newborn's. This period marks the end of the second trimester. The third trimester begins with the 7th month, weeks 27 through 30. There is rapid growth in the fetus during this time. The brain grows immensely, and the nervous system is starting to control some body functions. The senses of hearing, vision, and taste are all well developed. Space inside the uterus is getting tight, and the baby moves to a head-down position. The 8th month, weeks 31 through 34, is a time of rapid growth when the baby gains a lot of fat that will cause it to put on about 2 pounds this month. Most of the baby's body is well developed, with the exception of the lungs, which will continue to mature. Weeks 35 through 38 make up the 9th month of pregnancy when the baby is just about ready to be born. During this time, the baby is mostly just putting on weight in the form of fat that will be used to meet its energy needs in the first few days of life. The lanugo hair is being shed, and the waxy vernix is wearing off. At this point, the baby is usually between 6 and 8 pounds. A baby may be born anywhere between 38 and 42 weeks of gestation. Labor begins with a series of intense, hormone-induced contractions of the uterus. These contractions serve to push the baby downward towards the cervix. The cervix is simultaneously dilating or opening and effacing or thinning. Once the diameter of the cervix has reached 10 centimeters, the baby can enter the vagina or birth canal. Contractions, combined with the efforts of the mother, push the baby out, and the baby's life outside the womb begins. After the birth of the baby, the placenta or afterbirth is delivered. After 40 weeks of sustaining life, its job is done. Human development, from conception to birth, is quite an amazing process. Starting from a single cell, an entire self-sustaining human organism is formed.